Welcome, mortals, to the Warp's premiere broadcast, Chaos Current. I am your host, a humble servant of Chaos Undivided, here to deliver the truths you cannot escape and the lies you'll cling to. Tonight's top story: the return of Daemon Primarch Fulgrim. What does his resurgence mean for the Imperium, Chaos, and even the ancient Eldar? Let us explore the endless madness of this unfolding tale. Fulgrim, the phoenix of perfection, the epitome of grace turned nightmare. Once he stood among the Emperor's favored sons, a symbol of all that was beautiful and noble. But his fall was as spectacular as it was tragic. At the drop site massacre, Fulgrim's greatest betrayal reached its crescendo. He faced his brother, Ferrus Manus, in brutal combat, and when Manus's head left his shoulders, Fulgrim's path toward darkness was sealed. This act of fratricide, driven by vanity and hubris, marked the turning point from which there was no return. Yet, Fulgrim's ultimate transformation came later, during a quest into the Eye of Terror. There, as he pursued ever greater heights of perfection and power, he fully embraced Slaaneş's will, ascending to demonhood. The Primarch who once sought to inspire his brothers through beauty had become a vessel for Slaaneş's hedonistic desires, his serpentine form and boundless power marking his rebirth. Now, Chaos Current can report that Fulgrim has evolved even further during his millennia-long absence in the Warp. His once gilded form has grown more grotesque and sinister, reflecting his complete submission to the will of Slaaneş. Fulgrim now embodies the very essence of excess and corruption, a far cry from the Daemon Primarch Guilliman faced in the aftermath of the Horus Heresy. His serpentine body coils with power, and his twisted horns and monstrous tail highlight his status as Slaaneş's ultimate champion. Sources from the Warp suggest that Fulgrim's return will not just reignite old rivalries, but unleash new horrors upon the galaxy. As his immaculate form slithers back into reality, none are safe from the perfection of corruption. And what of the Eldar? Their folly created Slaaneş, and for 10,000 years they've lived with the consequences. Fulgrim's return can mean nothing good for this ancient race. For the Eldar, this is not just another Chaos Primarch returning. It is the herald of their doom. Their souls, already prey to Slaaneş, may now face a champion who embodies the gods' eternal hunger. Among the Eldar, whispers of hope still linger in the form of Ennead, their god of death. Ennead represents the final gambit to free their souls from Slaaneş's grasp. But here's where the story twists. The crone swords of Morai Heg, artifacts tied to Ennead's awakening, play a vital role in this battle for survival. 4 swords have been claimed, but the 5th lies deep within the palaces of Slaaneş, inaccessible to all but the brave or the vain. Chaos Current has learned that Fulgrim, in his endless arrogance, intends to claim this final crone sword for himself. If he succeeds, the balance between Ennead and Slaaneş could shift irrevocably. When approached for comment, the palace of Slaaneş responded with silence, leaving the whereabout of the 5th crone sword shrouded in mystery. But the Eldar are not alone in facing the impact of Fulgrim's return. The Imperium too must reckon with this monstrous resurgence, and few bear the weight of that challenge as heavily as Roboute Guilliman. Roboute Guilliman, the Imperium's golden poster boy, stands as the Emperor's champion. But how is he supposed to defeat an even more powerful version of Fulgrim? This is not the brother Guilliman fought in the aftermath of the Horus Heresy. Even then, Fulgrim was a Daemon Primarch, twisted by Slanesh's gifts. But now, after 10,000 years submerged in the warp, Fulgrim has become something far worse. He is the perfection of corruption, a creature molded by Slanesh's whims into a being of unimaginable power. Although Fulgrim is powerful, there are still threats he needs to be wary of. Fulgrim must be wary of the Emperor's sword. It's the bane of all demons, capable of delivering eternal destruction. If you've lost friends or loved ones to its searing justice, please call the Demon Helpline. Revenge, after all, is only a summoning circle away. Still, while the Emperor's sword is a significant threat, Fulgrim's newfound power and 4 arms make him a near impossible target for Guilliman to strike. The Golden Boy's strength and tactics were not enough last time, and Chaos Current sees no reason why the result would be any different 10,000 years later. But what if another wielded the Emperor's sword? Enter Lionel Johnson. The Lion's return has already shaken the galaxy, and his blade has cut through chaos with terrifying precision. We all remember the news report about the Lion storming in and stopping Angron, the Red Angel himself, during his rampage. Unlike Guilliman, the Lion's combat prowess and mastery of the hunt could make him the perfect counter to Fulgrim. The Lion also have a newfound ability, known as Forest Walk, that allows him to traverse vast distances in an instant. Even if Fulgrim manages to corner Guilliman, the Lion could appear out of nowhere, striking with the Emperor's fury. A lion armed with the Emperor's sword is a nightmare no demon wishes to face. If you see an Emperor sword-wielding lion, do not engage. Contact your local demon prince for assistance immediately. But the Imperium isn't the only faction facing a reckoning. Fulgrim's return could also fracture chaos itself. Abaddon, the self-proclaimed War Master, has spent millennia building his power base, rallying warbands to the Black Legion and carving his legacy through the Great Rift. But chaos is a realm of ambition, where power is the only true currency. With Fulgrim's seductive promises of excess and supremacy, warbands might begin to splinter. Could the Emperor's children rise again as a dominant force within chaos, drawing followers away from Abaddon's banner? As of now, Abaddon has yet to comment on Fulgrim's return, but the implications are clear. Another Daemon Primarch re-entering the fray could destabilize the War Master's tenuous grip on chaos. A civil war among the traitor legions is not just possible, but perhaps inevitable. With Abaddon and Fulgrim at odds, the forces of chaos may find themselves fighting on multiple fronts. Such a conflict would ripple across the galaxy, leaving devastation in its wake, and perhaps, just perhaps, giving the Imperium and the Eldar the faintest glimmer of hope to exploit. And then, there's the clone. Somewhere in the galaxy, Trazyn the Infinite holds a perfect replica of Fulgrim in his vaults, a clone untainted by chaos, a version of Fulgrim as he was meant to be. Could this clone emerge as a force of redemption, seeking to undo the damage caused by its progenitor? Or would it become yet another pawn in the endless game of chaos and order? Trazyn, of course, has declined to comment on the subject of the perfect clone, as he is prone to do. But the question remains, if released, how would the galaxy react to 2 Fulgrims, one an agent of excess, the other a paragon of lost ideals? Fulgrim's return is more than just another chapter in the long war between chaos and the Imperium. It's a crescendo of conflict that touches every corner of the galaxy. For the Imperium, it's a trial by fire, forcing Guilliman and perhaps the Line to rise to the challenge. For the Eldar, it's a race against time, As their god of death struggles to awaken and combat Slaanesh's growing power. For Chaos, it's a question of unity or betrayal. Will Fulgrim's ambitions fracture the already fragile alliances within the warp? This story is far from over, and the galaxy itself may not survive its conclusion. What do you think, mortals? Could the Imperium and the Eldar unite against this monstrous threat? Or will Fulgrim's return mark the beginning of an unstoppable tide of excess and destruction? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, Chaos Current will be here to report every glorious moment of triumph, treachery, and torment. Until next time, I am your host, a humble servant of Chaos Undivided, reminding you, in the warp, nothing is true, and everything is permitted. May your nightmares be vivid, and your torment everlasting.